and the stakeholders involved during a brief, which then I took back to the office, scanned in, saved it to my company's secure server, and put the notes from the client brief meeting in the confidential waste bin.
Yeah.
I suppose, yeah. I think with data-wise, I think data in itself, it can be anything, can't it? From sort of people's names, addresses, age, sex, whatever. Just their personal information, isn't it?
Follow-up question then, how long should we keep, again it's not very specific, but how long should we keep data for?
Well, that on my notes is RICS recommends 15 years.
Yes, but there's also the storage limitation principle, so you should delete something after it is no longer needed. But then someone's also suggested that if you've got runoff cover, you should also keep it for as long as your cover lasts. So like the 6, 12 and 15 years. So
Yeah.
Written under hand or written by deed, so that you've got the corresponding documentation should you need it.
Right, perfect. I'll write that on the notes.
But that's quite good, because then it can, if you can remember the runoff cover years, you can then also remember the data.
So, with the runoff cover, I think the RICS recommends 6 years, don't they, for runoff cover? But obviously, if if a contract's been done by deed, it goes for 12 years, doesn't it? So, is it 6 years as a minimum?
So, if it's written under hand, it's 6 years. Under deed is 12, and RICS recommends 15. That's what I remember. Don't know if I'll have it written down somewhere. If anyone else on the call's listening and thinks that's fundamentally wrong, let yourself be known.
No, that's what I've got on my notes. Not that my notes are right, but there must be something if we both got it, so that's good.
Wicked. Then I've been given another bank of questions, so I'll just start going on that. What is GDPR?
General Data Protection Regulations.
Brilliant. And what statute in the UK applies to this? Because it's an EU legislation, the GDPR.
Is it the Data Protection Act?
Yep, Data Protection Act 2018.
Was it 2018? I can never remember the years of
I can never remember the years. I was
other than the Building Safety Act, which was like literally last year. I can't remember any
but then it superseded the 2021 one, didn't it? So even that, I feel like I might cock up.
Yeah.
What data is protected by that statute? A good one. Quite obvious.
Names, addresses, like health data.
Yeah, so personal data. Probably get away with just saying personal data.
Yeah.
But it then, so is all data equal under that statute?
Ooh.
So that's effectively what you said. So the personal data, some of that is more sensitive than other. So things like health requires additional protection.
Right, interesting.
Yeah, I think it's probably worth just having a read of it, and if something goes in, it goes in. But someone did say something which is quite comforting. Like, obviously you can't get everything wrong, but if they do ask you something, like, they're not going to fail you just because you haven't read GDPR.
Well, that's it, isn't it? And the level ones at the end of the day, aren't they? I think the main core of your assessment is your technical, your level 3s, your level 2s. They're going to spend most of the time on them. I mean, I think they only brush over like 5-10 minutes and have all the mandatory competencies done. So
yeah, due to timing, someone I know has just done the new assessor training, and you've only got to do 3 of the mandatories minimum, like the level 1s. So they might not even ask you, or they've not even got to ask you technically all of the competencies. They'll try and maybe like double it up, so they might try and pair up, like communication with negotiation.
And it's a shame that, isn't it? Because it's like, well, not a shame because that's quite good, but the amount of time you can, effectively waste
revising something.
You could waste a good few days or even a week on a mandatory competency that they just don't ask you about, which is, especially like conflict avoidance and stuff, it's quite a bit to remember, isn't there?
Yeah, I think if you get someone on your panel who is like an arbitrator or an adjudicator, you can't see the panel, but probably for good reason, because you would sort of look and assume. So yeah, usually if you've got someone on the panel that does arbitration, that's why they'll ask you.
Yeah, definitely.
That's usually how it goes. Do you want me to keep going? I feel like I've got loads of questions on this.
You just keep firing them.
So, what is the difference between primary and secondary data?
I'm not sure on that one. I'm not sure if anybody else. There's a few more just logged on, actually. Anybody there?
Okay, I think primary data is obtained directly from source like structured interviews and questionnaires, while the secondary one from internet sources.
Yeah, and I guess you could, I don't know what people's disciplines are, but like primary and secondary cost data. So like a primary cost data would be maybe like a quote that you've built up from scratch yourself using your own like sort of internal rates, and secondary cost data would be like BCIS bonds. So yeah, something you've done as opposed to someone else. I'll just keep going. What is BIM? What does it stand for?
Building Information Modeling.
This one's tricky. Where is the data in BIM?
I don't know. I don't use BIM.
I know, I don't touch it. What pathway are most people on the valuations pathway?
I'm on building surveying.
Yeah, I presume you won't get asked this, but I would never have thought of it like this. But BIM, so it's a 3D model where each 3D object contains metadata, thus acting as the database. I mean, I don't think I'd have ever even thought to say or think that, and I use BIM.
Have you got BIM in some of your experience?
No, so I'm hoping.
No. I mean, you can just say it's not an area I've ever had any experience in,
Yeah. Do you work with, or are you familiar with the acronym CDE? And what it is?
No.
So it's a common data environment. I think again it probably links to that. But where does your organisation store their project data?
On secure servers that are backed up, and each individual has a password protected laptop.
Yeah. What is an NDA?
A non-disclosure agreement. It's basically an agreement that sort of legally binds two parties to not disclose or sharing of any confidential data.
Perfect. Nailed that. What is data classification?
Don't know. I need to think of really good ways of saying I don't know. That's what I need to learn for my assessment. A good way of saying I don't have a clue. I've never heard of that.
That's so in my mock I kept saying, don't worry, I'll have an answer for that on the day. And then they said that's not a suitable question. I was meant to treat it like an actual like APC, and I was like, oh, I've misunderstood this brief. Yeah, apparently you can say, can we pick that up at the end? So I asked this, and you are allowed a pen and paper. So when when you don't know, you can ask, can I say it at the end? And usually people forget and don't say it at the end. But if you've written it down on a piece of paper, I sometimes think you see stuff written down and it comes back to you in a different way. Or I don't know how people are revising.
I think if you like genuinely don't know, I think it'll be best just to say you don't know.
Oh yeah, because definitely.
I think if it's something that you do know, but you just had a big brain fog, and it's just not on the tip of your tongue, and it's frustrating. You know, when someone asks you a question, it's frustrating because you do know the answer, but it's not there. I think then it'll be good to come back to it. I just think they come back to them right at the end, don't they? So I just think you don't want to end your assessment on a negative.
Yeah, that's true.
To get by saying, yeah, no, I still don't know what that is. I might be overthinking it, but that's the way I thought of it.
No, that is true.
You're not, I don't know, I hear different sort of sides of it, different people's perceptions on the assessment, but there's a big thing that, you're not expected to know everything. But then it's like, to what level do they see fit to stop? I suppose it's one of you achieving the levels, don't they? So
apparently, another thing someone told me from the assessor training, though, they really do want you to pass because the referral report is an absolute nightmare to write. Like a very logical.
That's really good to know. That is really encouraging. So that's good.
Yeah. Again, I've only got one more question on my list, but I don't know if
I've got a few.
I'll do my last one and then I'm out, and you can jump on. So, what is the name of the RICS's cost data subscription service? Now, I think that's quite QS pathway related. I presume you probably need to also know because it's RICS.
Is it BCIS? Is that?
Yeah. I foolishly, I didn't think that was an RICS owned subscription service. BCIS.
I didn't know. Do you want me to fire some out?
But that's me. So
that's fine. So on GDPR, what are the key principles of GDPR? There's 7, isn't there? I think out of this competency, if anything, that these key principles GDPR is what you need to know. My marks, the key principles.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Can you remember them then? Is there a way?
I've got them written down. I can't remember. I remember the first 2.
Yeah.
Use fairly, lawfully, and transparently.
Yeah.
I've got to take this call. I'll come back to you. Sorry about that.
Yeah. So it's lawfulness, fairness, and transparency. Purpose limitation. So that's like only take the data that you need for that specific purpose. Data minimization. So again, not taking too much. Accuracy. Storage limitation. Integrity and confidentiality. So that's basically like security of the data. And accountability.
Yeah. This is what I mean. You could spend like an hour just remembering that, couldn't you?
Well, that's it, isn't it? Never get asked it.
I guess if you link it into so it's a professional standard, isn't it? The data one. So you could just try and remember as much as you can from that, and it does align. So like the whole like keep getting rid of stuff when you no longer need it, acting within the law. Presume you can say like some examples include, they're not going to be too bothered if you forget some.
I suppose this is probably quite a good level 1 question, which you'd probably, if you was to get asked, why is it important to protect clients' data?
aligns with the RICS Code of Conduct, aligns with like legal duties. We can talk about any of those 7 principles, really, probably.
Yeah, I mean, I've just got from like a bit of a holistic view on that. I've just put, well, you know, personal data falls into the wrong hat. Identity theft, discrimination, or even physical harm.
Right.
And I think that is probably one of the key reasons why data is protected, isn't it, really? Especially in today's day and age. Everyone's out to scam everyone, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying that your answer was wrong. I'm just, they probably all tie in, don't they? The principles and all the rest of it. And I think a lot of my questions that I have on this are all just to do with GDPR. Do you know what are the penalties under GDPR?
Is it 2% or 10 million from the company's turnover?
Yeah, that's one of them. That's for like less severe breaches. And then you have one for more severe breaches.
Is it what's with the 2% or 10 million? Is it whichever's highest or lowest?
It's up to 10 million or 2% of the company's turnover.
Right.
I'm not sure on that. I'd have to look it up. But for the more severe breaches, it basically just doubles. So it's up to 20 million or 4% of the company's turnover. And that will feed into exactly what you were saying before, you know, on what kind of data it is and how you've breached. You know, I suppose they would take it into consideration exactly what it is that's been breached. Who enforces GDPR?
Is it the ICO?
It is. What does the ICO stand for?
Information Commission Office, I think it is.
Yeah, perfect. That's what they do, though, isn't it? You say something and they go and chip in again at you. Okay, I'll try and find one more. What's the Freedom of Information Act?
The right to view public data?
Yeah. Yeah, it's usually sort of applicable to it's like local authorities when you planning documents and things like that. It's public's right to view that public data. Does anyone else want to fire some out? Me and Susanna maybe done.
I'm sorry I was late.
Sorry?
But I've got a couple of questions. I don't know if you've already gone over them or not. So, has Brexit had any impact on GDPR in terms of legislation and regulations?
Hasn't the UK got its own GDPR now?
The UK always had the Data Protection Act, and then they had the GDPR when they joined the EU. I don't know if they've reverted or not.
I think wasn't one of the things we decided to choose that became part of UK domestic law.
Okay.
So we still got a GDPR, albeit so we picked loads of laws, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just not the European version anymore, is it? It's the English version. I'd say. I know I know there was one that was superseded because that was in the European, and now we've got our own. But I don't think anything's changed.
Yeah, I've got here. It's now the UK GDPR.
It's not related to this, but another one that I've been picked up on is, public sector procurement. I don't know if anyone's spoken about that, but OJU. OJU has now become find a tender service. So you don't have to advertise on the EU journal page, but you've got to do it on the UK new equivalent.
Got one more question. What is the purpose of an electronic data management system? Does it benefit organisations?
So paperless filing. And if documents are stored electronically as opposed to hard copy.
Yep. Perfect.
It can be accessed and managed online, easily shared. Obviously, environmentally friendly.
Yep, I've got here. Organising and managing electronic documents and records. It benefits organisations by improving data accessibility, security, and efficiency. It allows for centralised document storage, easy retrieval, and better control over document versions. So you got that.